Have you ever wondered how the invisible threads of geopolitics weave the fabric of our world? Like the shifting sands of a desert, the landscape of geopolitics is in constant flux, driven by a multitude of factors. This intricate dance of power, interests, and alliances shapes the world we live in, influencing everything from global economies to the smallest local events. One of the most striking examples of this changing landscape is the upcoming ruling by the World Court on Germany's unwavering support for Israel. Nicaragua has lodged a case against Germany, accusing the European powerhouse of complicity in genocide through arms sales to Israel. This case highlights an important shift in global politics, where traditional alliances no longer guarantee protection against allegations of human rights violations. This is not just about Germany, Israel, or Nicaragua. It's about the shifting sands of geopolitics, where Western governments can no longer shield their allies from international scrutiny for alleged crimes. This is a world where the moral compass is being reset, where accountability and humanitarian considerations are becoming more prominent in the discourse of international relations. The International Court of Justice, once seen as a distant entity, is now at the forefront, wielding its power to uphold justice and human rights. The court rulings underline the urgent need for humanitarian aid in Gaza and call for accountability to prevent acts of genocide. These decisions are shaping the narrative of geopolitics, influencing the direction of the shifting sands. This case has put a spotlight on the evolving nature of international relations and the power of legal institutions in shaping our world. The path to the World Court's decision is a journey through a labyrinth of international politics and legal challenges. Let's begin with the Gaza conflict, a focal point of geopolitical tension. This was a battle not only fought on the ground but also in the hearts and minds of nations worldwide. It was during this time that Germany solidified its support for Israel, a move that would later come under intense scrutiny. Following the Gaza conflict, Germany's arms sales to Israel became a point of contention. These sales, seen by many as a tangible symbol of Germany's unwavering support for Israel, sparked debate and controversy. Critics argued that these arms sales were a clear case of complicity, fueling the conflict rather than working towards peace. Next on the timeline is the bold move by Nicaragua. In a surprising twist, Nicaragua accused Germany of complicity in genocide due to these arms sales. This accusation brought the issue to the forefront of world attention, marking a significant shift in the dialogue surrounding the Gaza conflict. The pressure mounted on Germany to reassess its support for Israel. This came not only from the international community, but also from within. Shifting public opinion reflected a growing demand for accountability and a desire to prioritize human rights over political alliances. Parallel to these events, the International Court of Justice found itself in the spotlight. Cases involving Israel, brought forward by South Africa and Nicaragua, set the stage for a seismic shift in geopolitics. The court rulings underscored the need for humanitarian aid in Gaza and called for accountability to prevent acts of genocide. These cases highlighted the fact that traditional alliances could no longer shield allies from scrutiny for alleged crimes. Each of these events has been a stepping stone to the World Court's imminent ruling, a testament to the changing dynamics of geopolitics. The complexities of this case can be distilled into a few key points that encapsulate the essence of this geopolitical shift. Firstly, the landscape of geopolitics is in a state of flux. Traditional alliances, once seen as unshakable, are now being questioned and re-evaluated. This is evident in the case of Germany's unwavering support for Israel, which is now under scrutiny. In face of shifting public opinion and legal challenges, it's clear that governments, even powerful Western ones, can no longer shield their allies from accusations of human rights violations without consequence. Secondly, the World Court, or the International Court of Justice, has emerged as a significant player in enforcing accountability on a global stage. The court's rulings are not just legal decisions, they're political statements that echo around the world, influencing international relations and shaping the course of world events. The cases brought against Israel by South Africa and Nicaragua serve as prime examples. These cases underscore the court's commitment to preventing acts of genocide and upholding human rights. They emphasize the need for humanitarian aid in Gaza and call for accountability for alleged crimes. In a world where power often trumps justice, these rulings are a beacon of hope for those seeking accountability and change. Lastly, the implications of the World Court's rulings extend far beyond the immediate parties involved. They are indicative of a shift in the world order, where the rule of law is gaining ground over traditional power dynamics. The court's decisions send a clear message to nations worldwide that alleged human rights violations will not be tolerated, regardless of the political alliances in play. In conclusion, this case serves as a microcosm of the changing dynamics in geopolitics. It highlights the increasing importance of international law and accountability, the shifting sands of political alliances, and the rising influence of the World Court. These key points serve as a compass, guiding us through the maze of international politics and law and pointing towards the future of geopolitics. As the World Court prepares to rule, the world watches with bated breath. The stakes are high, and the potential outcomes of this ruling are set to reverberate across the geopolitical landscape. At the forefront, Germany finds itself in an unprecedented position. Accused of complicity in genocide through arms sales to Israel, the country is now under pressure to reassess its unwavering support for its longtime ally. A ruling against Germany could send a clear message to nations worldwide, underlining that traditional alliances no longer provide a shield against accountability for alleged human rights violations. Israel, too, stands at a crossroads. A verdict in favor of Nicaragua could further amplify the calls for humanitarian aid in Gaza and increase pressure for accountability. It could also potentially lead to a shift in alliances, forcing Israel to navigate a new geopolitical reality. For Nicaragua, this case represents a bold stand against perceived injustices. A favorable ruling could not only validate their accusations, but also inspire other nations to challenge the status quo and seek justice on the global stage. And then there's the global community, collectively holding its breath. The World Court's ruling could signify a seismic shift in geopolitics, where the rule of law trumps power dynamics and nations are held accountable for their actions, irrespective of their alliances. But let's not forget, the World Court's ruling is not just about these three nations. It's about setting a precedent for future international disputes. It's about redefining the rules of engagement in a world where human rights and justice are increasingly taking center stage. Regardless of the outcome, the World Court's ruling will be a landmark moment in geopolitics, a turning point marking the shift from traditional alliances to a new era of accountability and justice.